Now on to something else, and during a press conference in the UK with Prime Minister Keir Starmer this week, Donald Trump, he appeared to, well, I think the cool kids call it throwing shade at the Sussexes. Here it is.
I've gotten to know a lot of the family members. They're great people. They're really great people. And in that sense, I think that the UK is very lucky. You can have people that weren't great people. I don't know if I'd say that, but you could have people that weren't. But
we're very lucky to have our royal family.
Angela, I love how uncomfortable the Prime Minister looks, but this would definitely not be the first time that Trump has had a crack at the Sussexes.
He loves having a crack at the Sussexes. He's said all things about Meghan for years. He's talked about her being nasty to him, how she's a terrible person, how Harry is whipped by her, and that she's under his, he's under her thumb. Of course, there's some beef between Trump and Harry over whether or not he lied on his immigration papers, and because of course Harry wrote in Spare about taking drugs. But I just love watching Keir Starmer in that clip, because he's just trying to save it going wrong here. Trump saying lovely things about Charles and Camilla. He adores William, obviously. They had that lovely tete-a-tete earlier this year, and then you just don't want him to drop them in it, because it's this is politics. You've got to get on with everybody. But Trump will always put his 2 cents in, and he certainly did. I think we'll still be hearing more from him in the future around the royal family.
Oh, absolutely.
Harry and Meghan.
Absolutely, that is for sure. And Pandora, while we're moved on to the Sussexes, and this week there's more news coming out in relation to the Sussexes Netflix deal and Meghan's lifestyle brand. I think my favourite was the shot over the bow from Martha Stewart. What's the update?
Yeah, so Martha Stewart is the go-to lifestyle guru. If you're within that space, and you would have known that she has always been on the scene. And it wasn't so much of a dig per se, but she did get asked about Meghan. She did say that she didn't really know Meghan, fair enough. But she did sort of say, I hope she knows what she's talking about. And she's quite right. Authenticity online and being a brand is so important. In fact, it's key to kind of speak to your audience. You need to come across real, and I suppose you need to know also what you're talking about. As we all know as journalists, I think that's very, very clear, and we always get held to account when we're talking about stuff, don't we? So Meghan has been called out on various things over the years, and authenticity has been brought into light for Meghan. So I think Martha's just sort of hitting the nail on the head. She needs to know what she is talking about. I wouldn't say it was a dig per se, but I would say that I imagine from her point of view, she spent many, many years trying to build up something. When someone comes along and gets, top 10 on Netflix instantly, and it's kind of happened overnight for Meghan. Whether she can sustain it, which Martha has for so many years, well, only time will tell. And we do know, of course, this was Meghan's first love, was kind of trying to build sort of a lifestyle Instagram audience. But times have changed, and unfortunately, they're financially independent, and they all need that cash flow, and they'll need it to carry on being successful. So whether she'll be able to live up to Martha Stewart, I do not know.
Now, Angela, just very quickly, I've only got about 40-odd seconds left for you, but there continues to be positioning this week about a prospective family reconciliation, including that Harry apparently wants his kids educated in Britain. You've written about this previously. Have you seen any material shift in recent weeks?
Look, I don't think we've seen any material shift, but I think people are now talking about it. They know that the king is still fighting cancer. Robert Jobson has come out and said, he's a very experienced royal reporter, and said that he can't ever see Camilla and William forgiving Harry, but the king may be. I just remember that very first chapter of Spare, where Harry records his father saying to him and William, "Boys, I don't want you to make my final years a misery." I'm hopeful for a reconciliation. I think William will have very strong boundaries on that. I think Camilla will have the maturity to deal with it for her husband's sake. It's something I'd like to see. Whether or not the kids, Archie and Lilibet, get educated in the UK, that would be a lovely thing, but I can't see Meghan Markle sanctioning that at this stage.
No, but we all wait and we all watch. Thank you so much, Angela Mollard and Pandora Forsyth.